This week's Firmware Friday roundup is split almost 50-50 between updates for still and video cameras, with a whole raft of software updates as well for good measure. Contributing to this week's roundup are Canon, Fujifilm, Olympus, Panasonic, Ricoh and Sigma. Let's get right down to it without any further ado. Firmware version 1.0.5.0 for the Canon XF200 and XF205 camcorders fixes a bug that could prevent timecode on 50 or 59.95 frames per second MP4 clips from being displayed correctly in non-linear editors on cameras with firmware versions 1.0.3.x or 1.0.4.x. You can download the update here. Fujifilm X-E3, X-H1 and X100F plus X RAW Studio, X Acquire and RAW File Converter X 2.0. Moving along, Fujifilm has updated 3 cameras this week, the X-E3, X-H1 and X100F. It's also updated its X RAW Studio, X Acquire and RAW File Converter X 2.0 apps in the past 7 days. Perhaps the most important of the camera firmware is version 1.02 for the X-H1, which corrects a problem that could cause images to be overwritten after using the select folder function. You can download this update, which makes no other changes, here. The firmware updates for the X-E3 and X100F are rather different, aimed at adding new features rather than correcting the behavior of existing ones. Firmware version 1.20 for the X-E3, which you can download here, makes the following changes: support Fujifilm X RAW Studio. After connecting a camera to a computer via USB cable, the Fujifilm X RAW Studio enables users to convert RAW files with X Processor Pro. Fast batch processing will also be available. The Fujifilm X RAW Studio can be downloaded from the Fujifilm website for free. Support for backup restore of camera settings via Fujifilm X Acquire. Once connecting a camera to a computer via USB cable, the Fujifilm X Acquire allows users to backup restore camera settings to, from a file. Copying all camera settings from one camera to another is available. Asterisk settings other than date and custom white balance can be backup and restored. Compatible with the newly developed Fuji XF200-45mm f3.5 to 5.60 ISPZ lens. The upgrade will add compatibility for the newly developed Fuji XF200-45mm f3.5 to 5.60 ISPZ lens. And changing the focus mode, AF per megafarad, the focus ring function, fine zoom adjustment, manual focus, automatically switches. Focus ring function when focus mode is S or C, fine zoom adjustment. Focus ring function when focus mode is M, manual focus. Memorize the lens zoom position when power off and return to the position when power on. Maintain the lens zoom position in playback mode to shorten the startup time for the next shooting. Improve radio flash controller usability. The upgrade allows users to shoot with compatible third-party studio flash in high-speed sync or TTL mode via their radio controllers. Enlarged and customizable indicators or information. The upgrade allows users to enlarge indicators and information in a viewfinder and/or LCD monitor. This upgrade will also enable users to customize the location of where the information is shown on the display. When enlarged display, some icons are not displayed, like distance indicator, focus frame, focus mode, focus warning, microphone, remote release, AF/MF button, lock and sound and flash indicator. Enhanced Bluetooth connectivity via Fujifilm Camera Remote app. The upgrade allows users to utilize the following functions with the latest Fujifilm Camera Remote app. The upgrade allows users to select multiple smartphones or tablet devices by pairing the cameras, up to 7 devices. Update the firmware *1 of compatible cameras that offer Bluetooth capability via smartphone or tablet devices. It supports Bluetooth wireless remote control camera shutter release *1 for cameras that offer Bluetooth capability. *1 An upgrade to the Fujifilm camera remote that will be available in May 2018 is required to operate firmware update and camera shutter release. For the Fuji X100F, meanwhile, firmware version 2.10 adds 2 new features as below. You can download it here. Enlarged and customizable indicators or information. The upgrade allows users to enlarge indicators and information in a viewfinder and/or LCD monitor. This upgrade will also enable users to customize the location of where the information is shown on the display. When enlarged display, some icons are not displayed, like distance indicator, focus frame, focus mode, focus warning, microphone, remote release, AF/MF button, lock and sound and flash indicator. New functions are added to store and read of camera settings by Fujifilm X Acquire. Once connecting a camera to a computer via USB cable, the Fujifilm X Acquire allows users to back up, restore camera settings to, from a file. With Fujifilm X Acquire, Veer.1.7 or newer, custom registration, edit settings are also stored and read. As for the software updates, XRAW Studio version 1.2.0 adds support for the Fuji X-E3 camera body. Fuji X Acquire version 1.9 now allows use with RAW file converter EX 2.0, while the version 4.3.0.0 update for that app does the reverse, and also adds an update notification icon to the user interface. XRAW Studio and X Acquire updates can be obtained here, and RAW file converter EX 2.0 here. Olympus PL9 Olympus has just one update this week, for the Penny PL9 mirrorless camera. Here, there's a fix in firmware version 1.1 which improves operation when removing clips from the My Clips function. You can download the update using Olympus Digital Camera Updater app. The final still camera update this week is for the Panasonic DCG-X9, which now runs firmware version 1.1. Here, there are two new features. You can now force the built-in flash strobe not to fire with the Forced Flash Off option, and can select new Sign Like D and Sign Like V photo styles. The update can be downloaded and installed by following the instructions here. Finally, Panasonic has updated its firmware upgrade schedule for the VariCam 35 and VariCam HS. Here, the updates seem not to be for the video cameras themselves, but for their related OVREC1 and OVCXRAW accessories. Firmware version 7.5000.05, released April 23, changes the initial file name style from P2 to Cine, and adds support for the OVCVF2GJ viewfinder. The remainder of the news this week is all on the software front. Ricoh has updated its Pentax Digital Camera Utility 5, Image Transmitter 2 and Pentax Tethered Capture plugin for Adobe Photoshop Lightroom, adding support for the just-released Pentax K1 Mark II to all three. For version 1.3.0 of the Lightroom plugin, that's the only change, and the same is also true of Image Transmitter 2 version 2.4.0 on the Mac. The Windows version of Image Transmitter 2 v2.4.0, though, also adds a 180-degree live view inversion function and corrects several display issues in the prior release. Digital Camera Utility 5 makes a much longer list of changes, as below, corresponded to the Pentax K1 Mark II. Note, it is not corresponded to the raw data development that taken with the image stabilization mode of Pixel Shift Resolution System 2. At the multi-monitor display, it will adopt the profile of monitor that take larger client area of the image display page for color management of that page. When switched to the browser mode while previewing the image that drag, the transaction of accessing the folder has been improved at the browser mode. Result of this, the thumbnail image displays faster, even massive images are saved in the folder. Added the Save Image tab to the option window, which is displayed by the Option button at the Saving dialog. If the setting data have been changed at the Display Raw File in Browser Mode, Tools options, corrected to reload the image when the raw image file has been displayed. To set the condition of panels lengthways such as the Control panel for top and Navigation panel for bottom, it was not keep previous panel condition after restart application by Restore Previous Condition setting. When a taskbar is displayed at top edge of the desktop in normal condition of application window, the title bar of the application went under the taskbar after executing the default layout. When you try to access to the folder which is contained large number of images, the window became no response. When the color management is on, develop the raw file at the laboratory mode and return to browser mode. The image may not be displayed sometimes. If you try to save the JPEG image which is embedded in raw image file by Save As, the capture data has not been saved correctly. If you reverse the function of left-right button of the mouse, you could not operate all drag functions. It had been automatic shutdown occurred while activate spotting and manually input more than 51 items at the size assignment column. It had been corrected the other small error of previous versions. You can find all of Ricoh's software updates available for download here. Sigma Photo Pro, and that only leaves Sigma's Photo Pro for this week. Updated to version 6.6.0, this now has a pre-processing function to speed up DP, SD, Quattro image display, as well as a new tone curve editor, 5-star image rating function, click to center function, side-by-side review mode, select, deselect all buttons in batch settings, and an improved detail slider function. You can download it here. And that's all for this week. Be sure to check back next time for more firmware, and occasionally, software news. Camera parts image courtesy of Kelly Hofer, Flickr, used under a Creative Commons CC BY 2.0 license. Image has been modified from the original.